Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very much looking forward to this discussion about the We Are Jewellery virtual event that will take place next Tuesday on the 23rd of March, organized by IEG Group, whom we know as the organizer of Vicenza Oro and Oro Arezzo. I'm delighted to be joined by Marco Carniello, who is the key organizer and brand director for Vicenza Oro and for the fashion and jewelry events organized by IEG Group. And we're going to, hi Marco, how are you?
Hi David, ciao. Thank you for having me. Hello everyone.
And thank you everybody for joining us also. We're going to start with a short video presentation of the We Are event. So here it is.
Keep my eyes to the rear, I keep my mirror straight. Hear that double yellow line, it's calling me. 'Cause we can make a Wednesday the weekend. Quit your job and tell them that you're leaving.
Thank you very much. So Marco, if I may start by asking you, what are the main objectives of the We Are Jewellery event taking place online next Tuesday?
Let's start from, from the objectives. Usually Italian exhibition group with all its events is always looking to provide opportunities. Opportunity is the key word of our business. And when we talk about opportunities, we think about providing connections between supply and demand. We think about giving visibility to companies or to new collections. And we also we think of opportunities providing knowledge, learning programs, educational seminars, and so on. So at IEG, we have been working much before the pandemic wave on innovation and on the ways, on the tools we could use to provide more opportunities to our exhibitors. So it's definitely a new format to provide visibility to companies, to new collections, and to amazing jewelry. And this time will be very much focused on the art of manufacturing of my country, Italy. And this is all about. So these are the objectives.
So I just want to say to everybody, please do feel free to ask questions. We are going to have a Q&A section towards the end of this webinar, but please do feel free to put your questions in the Q&A facility, which you'll find at the bottom of your screen. So Marco, could I ask you, who will take part in We Are and how can they register?
Sure, this is something very much related to our core business, which is connecting jewelry professionals. So all the people, they are working along the supply chain in jewelry. So buyers, producer, manufacturers. So the We Are is aiming at connecting trade buyers with Italian producers. So we're having about 32 Italian producers on this platform that I'll show you a little bit later, and who's gonna watching We Are, who's gonna interacting with We Are from all over the world. They will be buyers, trade buyers, also media. In some way, they are very keen into understanding the new collection, the new products. So we are basically inviting all our buyers from all over the world. They usually come to Vicenza Oro or to Arezzo to visit our We Are platform. And let me show you something more about how to register, because you know, with the new platform is always a little bit tricky for people, and but I make you sure that is very easy. So let me share my screen, and I'll show you right away the way you can register. So if you are a buyer, you go to oroarezzo.it. So is oroarezzo.it. So this is I'm already with my browser on this web page, and you see
Arezzo is the gold jewelry show in Arezzo, isn't it? Which is one of the key organizers of this event.
Exactly. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Well, as IEG Italian Exhibition Group, we are organizing Vicenza Oro, which is the one of the top trade show for jewelry in the world. But we also organizing Oro Arezzo, which is a very important show related to goldsmith producers, and this show is usually taking place in April, May. This year we moved it till mid June. Hopefully we can organize it without any problem. Hopefully, and we is a part of Oro Arezzo. So to register for we are, you need to go to oroarezzo.it. So once you are on the website, you see here we are jewelry. So if you want to find out more, you click here. But if you want to register, you register here. So you click here. I just prepare myself just to not run into problems. So if you want to register, you get to this page. You just register you as a buyer. The form will ask some information about your business. If you have already an account with Oro Arezzo, you could register yourself easily, and once you're in till today, you see this page. So the Jewelry Golden Cloud, which is the platform on which we run We Are Jewelry, and this page is just saying to you, come back tomorrow on the 19th, because from tomorrow this platform will be open to the visitors to check out whatever we have. So this is pretty easy. So go and follow the website of oroarezzo.it or any of our blast emails we are sending out in these days, or on the social networks, of course.
So just to clarify then who the exhibitors are and where they're from, are they from all of the main goldsmithing centers of Italy, or just Arezzo?
This is a good point. The 32 exhibitors, the 32 participants are from all the Italian districts. So more or less half of them are from Arezzo, but another big part are from Vicenza. And there are some coming from the Naples area. You know, they are very good in the working of cameo and corals, and
Yep.
also other brands from Milan. So we kind of represents more or less all Italy.
So Torre del Greco, is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Which is the very famous town for coral and cameo, close to Naples.
Yeah, excellent. So what tools will we be using to showcase the high quality of craftsmanship of Italian jewellery, and the quality control therein as well?
Yeah, this is part of our work on research and innovation. So what we felt was that was important to attract the interest of buyers with high quality content. So will be very much about high quality content, videos of jewels in a way that the fashion digital weeks are using, so in the same format. So and we using that kind of content to attract buyers, to inspire buyers to look for new products, to look for new collection. But the additional trick we used is the fact that by watching that video, if you are a buyer, you can click there on the jewel you like, and you can really see the details of that jewel. And with a double click, you can get in touch with the producer. So if you let me say, there's an inspiration first, the inspiration should connect buyers and producer, and then these should convert into orders, business relationship, or whatever.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 steps.
So essentially, we are, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it's a fashion event that showcases the jewellery, but also enables the buyers to home in, really look carefully at those jewellery pieces, and then to go on and arrange to contact the exhibitor and go on to make an order.
Exactly. It will be like a catwalk, or even better than a catwalk, like a video with models and jewels. Now a little bit later on, we'll see again a video just to show you the kind of content we are providing to buyer. And the other interesting thing is, once you like, as a buyer, the jewel you're watching, you can go into the details within our platform and see the jewel in the 3D dimension with all the details. And I'll show you exactly what you're gonna see. Just sharing again my video. Just give me a second. So you see, there was exactly a taste of what buyers are going to watch on the platform. It will be like a multiple catwalk with a wonderful woman wearing wonderful jewels. But the additional trick, as I said, is that you can check exactly the details of the jewel. And let me share my screen, and I show you one of the tool you can use to watch the jewel. So, for instance,
and if Marco, when you explain, if you could explain and elaborate in greater detail how the communications between the exhibitors and the buyers will work, and how ultimately the buyer can go on to make an order, how it will work in the We Are system. Sure.
So let me first show you one of the way, the technologies we're using to show jewels. So that is actually coming from an experience we had with Arezzo last year.
I see those captions were in Italian. Would they also be in English or not?
It's going to be everything in English. Yeah.
Okay.
You see, you'll have this technology helping you, to check the product, to see the details.
Superb imagery. Really state of the art. So you're using all the latest technologies.
Absolutely. And let me show you something. Some other jewels, because those are really, really cool.
So those captions will be in English during the live event?
Yes, everything, yeah.
Oh, fabulous piece. Do we know who that piece is from?
Yes, but I'm not sure is because I'm taking some videos and contents from something we did in the past, which is already online available for the public. And I don't remember who was this, but it's, you can go to
the technology is very clear. I mean, you see really clearly the clarity, the definition of that piece.
Exactly. So this is the whole concept. So we inspire through videos, like in the Digital Week, and then you can watch very well the jewels, and at the end you can get connected to the exhibitors, to the, let's say,
so can you then explain how that aspect works? So imagine I'm a buyer and I really love that piece of jewelry we've just seen. Just talk through the process as to how I would then connect to the exhibitor, the supplier of that piece.
Definitely. For making these, you need to be on the platform, what we call the Jewellery Golden Cloud, where will be played, let's say. And I'll show you what you're gonna see. This is still, final in the last phase of finalizing. You see, you'll be on a screen like this. This is exactly the platform I was mentioning, the Jewellery Golden Cloud. This is me because I registered, let's say, as a buyer. Let's say that I'm from the team We Are, but this should be the name of the jewelry boutique or the jewelry chain or the distributor. And I see here on this part of the screen the whatever is going online at that moment. I can look at here. We are live. I can see here all the. Let's see if it's loading. Here we go. On this screen at 1 p.m. Next Tuesday, it will be broadcasted a nice videos with multiple frames with those models wearing beautiful jewels. And once you are there, and while you are watching this video, you can from here you can click and you go directly to the products. And for instance, you will be then able to watch all the products. And for each product, you can look at the details. But
and just to be clear again, Marco, in terms of the product, we're talking about made in Italy jewelry, aren't we? All of the product in We Are is made in Italy jewelry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it primarily gold jewelry?
No, there can be also silver jewelry. So it doesn't mean that has to be all gold. No, is jewelry. And yes, and so here from this platform you can check all our exhibitors, and you can see they are all Italians for We Are, and with a click you can get connected with them. You can ask for an appointment that will be virtual, and you can have a video chat or texting with him. So we inspire buyers. We make them able to watch the jewels and to see who's the producer of that jewel, to finalize the connection and possible the conversion. So this is all about We Are. And I think is an interesting new format we can use even before or during a physical show, because it's something that we can definitely integrate to our top show. Is not something that is substituting the trade fair, not at all. This is an event to promote Italian jewelry. And this is going to be a format that I think the buyer will love.
Yeah. So we've obviously seen the clips from fashion there. Could you elaborate a little bit about the fashion event in We Are, and also how you see the synergies between fashion and jewellery at this event? Why is fashion important to an event that will showcase made in Italy jewellery?
So when we watch fashion shows, the fashion week, we always see something more than what we do in jewelry. Fashion has been running much ahead with innovation, with way to engage consumer, with the branding side. So using fashion formats is something that will help the jewelry to develop, and so the contamination of fashion with jewelry is something we have been exploring since long time. And I think with this format, we could find a good match, a match that is mixing the way the fashion can give value to the product, and the B2B feature to provide the conversion of these nice format into orders, business relationships, and at the end money, sales.
So we've had a couple of questions in. I'll just quickly get to those. Mariam Zaman is saying, could you post a link to Oro Arezzo? So that is Oro, O-R-O, as in gold in Italian, Arezzo, the Tuscan city, the goldsmithing hub, .it. So you go to that website and then you will click on register. Marco Giovanelli asks, can we see how we select the jewellery pieces from the catwalk video? Marco, do you want to just comment on that?
Yeah, this is a good question. So instead of having one videos like in a catwalk with multiple jewels, we decided to go for multiple pieces of video, each one dedicated to just one single jewelry or one single jewelry set. So you have 1 minute totally dedicated to this jewel, to this collection. So the buyer has time to select that one, and if he likes it, he just stop the video and go into the details of that jewel. So you'll have one jewel every minute, and you can definitely select one of those.
So Marco, could you elaborate a little bit about how you planned the fashion event for We Are, where some of those images were taken, how they were taken, where you found the models and so on, and also the thinking behind it in terms of the images presented of the Italian models? And just tell us a little bit more about the planning of the fashion event itself.
Sure. So just to incorporate in what we do the fashion format, the best way we could use it was to engage and to involve someone that works in fashion, someone that buy fashion. And so we worked very closely with our art director of Oro Arezzo. This is one of the the most known fashion buyer in the world. He's Italian. He's actually native of Arezzo. His name is Beppe Angiolini, and with him we create All We Are. So in a way, we did it with the eyes and the hands of someone that lives of fashion and and really produce fashion, because he's influencing all consumers and all Italian fashion boutiques on what to buy and what not to buy. So we did it with him, with Beppe, and all the images you see and where we took the videos are from his boutique. So Beppe, this fashion buyer, has his own boutique in Arezzo. The boutique's name is Sugar, which is an English name, and this boutique is considered one of the most beautiful boutiques in the world. And that was a ranking by Vogue or by Elle, I don't remember, but it's an amazing shop on 3 floors, and all the images you've seen, you're gonna see with the videos are recorded there. It's an amazing palace from the 15th century. Is historical, but all let's say refreshed with the touch of Beppe, who's one of our, well, is our master for what is in what's referring fashion.
Okay, excellent. We'll move now to show a second video of We Are, and then we'll talk after that a little bit more about Arezzo. So let's see the video.
And the video is so you can appreciate the video is recorded in this boutique, is Sugar.
Thank you very much.
So it was so. Let me just saying a couple of words about how we did it, this video on in this wonderful boutique. We spent 2 or 3 days. We were in 50 professionals into that place with 11 models. There were 20 cameramen with very sophisticated cameras and technology to record everything. And we spent 2 entire days together with the director of the overall video and Beppe, who was picking the dresses for each of the model based on the context where we were recording the jewelry frame and based on the jewelry she was wearing. So it was a really tough but enjoyable work we did, and I'm sure and I'm confident that the result is something that we expected at the level we expected.
Yeah, well, it's extremely stylish. Let's just turn to a question that's just come in from Anjum Cave. Hi, Anjum. Anjum is asking you, Marco, are the exhibitors mainly newcomers to the jewellery industry, i.e. young and tech savvy, or are they more jewellery industry veteran suppliers used to traditional selling routes and who now need to be online and to adapt to new technology selling techniques?
Thanks for the question. Most of all are veterans, so are producers and manufacturers that has been exhibiting in Vicenza Oro in all our trade fairs. So they are very experienced. Actually, some of the way to sell and to promote his own jewelry. Definitely, there will be space in the future for more and for youngest designer, for instance. But for now, most of all are very well established factories of jewelry.
Okay, good. Let's just to encourage people to keep submitting questions. We're delighted to receive your questions. It just makes everything much more interactive and fun if we can have steady questions rolling in. To ask you, Marco, a little bit more about Arezzo and how you can showcase Arezzo through the We Are event. Arezzo has a great history as a goldsmithing hub and center, and it's also the most beautiful place in Tuscany. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you can showcase, if you like, the craftsmanship skills and the talents and traditions of Arezzo through the We Are event?
Arezzo is indeed one of the most important one of the most important clusters of producers in Europe. Is not only the biggest in Italy, is also the biggest in Europe. Long years of tradition in manufacturing, goldsmithing, but also everything about jewelry. I think the GDP of Arezzo for 90%, 90% is produced, is made of jewelry. So this is a very important part of the Arezzo economy, of the Arezzo tradition. They have been very oriented to the export. So more than 90% of the sales of the companies based in Arezzo are going abroad, mainly the Middle East, but also US and Asia. And so it's important for us to showcase jewelry from there, even on the online formats, because the link with this place is a way for us to keep the heritage and the history of the Italian jewelry. So that's why we really want to keep this link. And in fact, if we see the A and R are colored in a different way, and they remind Arezzo, because the code, the city code is AR.
So can you just tell us a little bit more in general terms about the goldsmithing industry of Arezzo? I mean, many of these are small family-owned companies, some of which go back generations, is that right? And are they all clustered around the city? Just tell us a little bit about how the fabric of the hub of Arezzo as a goldsmithing center works. And also maybe you should comment a little bit about how the industry, if you like, has adapted to the pandemic in terms of embracing new technologies.
Yes, so Arezzo manufacturing cluster reflects very well the Italian industry of jewelry. So companies are indeed fairly small or medium small size, but this is not the case of everyone. So we do have an average of 5-10 employees by single company, but this is a very strong cluster and network of people working together and interacting in very complex network of supply chain, let's say. But just remember that some of them are indeed very big companies with hundreds of people. So we do have also some, let's say, some very big factories with hundreds of years of experience. Let's pick Uno ARE, for instance, was the really first one to establish as a jewelry factory, and they are indeed very big. So it's very fragmented, the cluster, but it's very powerful because it's very interconnected itself. Plus, it has a very big focus on the export, and that's why they are already picking up again with sales. They are now exporting to Dubai, which is again almost open, not in a very normal way as in 2019, but is getting there. Is open, and they are already selling there. They moving very quickly, and it's the kind of entrepreneur there that is really resilient, and it doesn't give up for a year of pandemic.
Yeah. Okay, great. We have a question from Jean Juredini, whom I know very well, a very well-known gemstone dealer based in Beirut. Jean is asking, I just lost that question for a minute. Are the manufacturers of Oro Arezzo involved in custom-made jewellery, working hand in hand with the customer in order to come up with an exclusive personalized design? I
mean, in all Italy, we have 7 8,000 of companies producing jewelry or involved in the jewelry sector. In Arezzo, I guess is 1/3 of this number. Definitely, there are some able to work on a customized way. I would say that traditionally, but this is not in, I mean, I'm talking in general terms, Arezzo has been very much oriented to the industrialization of production. So a little bit more about volumes, while other districts in Italy have been focusing on custom-made jewelry. But this doesn't mean that in Arezzo there are not these kind of producers. And probably, well, I'm pretty sure that some of the ones present in the We Are participants in the We Are 32 companies are able to produce by order also for, you know, with a design. So yeah, let's explore these. Definitely, we have so many clients. They are able to provide very different services.
Yeah, and there are around Arezzo, are there not, quite small scale artisanal workshops that can craft pieces to order?
There are many, and our job as a, you know, as an organizer of event and the provider of opportunities is to help these small factories, small companies to move towards the buyers through different formats or through our trade fairs, the physical ones, when we can do it, but also through this kind of format. So we'll suggest and we'll push those companies to use format like We Are to have more visibility of your services and manufacturing toward top jewelry boutiques in Beirut or in Dubai, in Los Angeles, and so on.
We have a question from Anjum Cave, who is saying, in view of the 32 exhibitors at We Are, in which international markets do you see the most sales growth potential? So which export markets do you think have the biggest potential right now? And I guess in a way, you'd be considering the impact of the pandemic on that and the respective rollout of vaccinations and how some countries and clusters of countries are picking up maybe quicker than others. I mean, do you have hopes that certain parts of the world will pick up quite quickly in terms of orders for Italian gold and silver jewellery? I mean, say the UAE, for example, or the United States, which is also progressing quite well in terms of its vaccines distribution.
Yeah, well, I'm referring to what I've heard from my clients, from the associations of Italian producers we are talking daily with, and what they say is definitely China is one of the growing, the fast growing market, and is also in a very good position now, exiting the pandemic. Secondly, we see the place of Dubai, the Emirates are in good shape to reopen and to start again. And in fact, many of the Italian producers are already flying to Dubai and making deals again. So because also you can pretty easily travel to there. And also US. Also US is a huge market for the made in Italy. And also US is picking up again. They progressing very quickly with the vaccination. And as we see from the UK, from Israel, and from the Emirates, once you progress with the vaccination, you really can be optimistic on the reopening of business. So those three countries, markets are probably the most interesting at the moment.
So just another general question on Oro Arezzo before we move beyond. Oro Arezzo is the vehicle through which we are is being staged. I mean, would you say that Oro Arezzo is an example of a virtual event that is adapted well to new technologies in the context of the pandemic? Would you sense that the hub of Arezzo is quickly adapting to this, quote, new normal, where technologies are increasingly vital to secure business?
Well, we saw a lot of acceleration into technology adoption by all the Italian companies, not only by the Arezzo companies. So in the last 12 months, I'm sure the progresses of in terms of technology adoption, digitization of those companies will give to all of them a good advantage now that we are exiting the problem. So in a way, the pandemic was also an opportunity business-wise. Unfortunately, some businesses couldn't do it, but the ones survived, and they will definitely grow, because they all adapted. They all using now calls. They have their own e-commerce platform, both B2B or B2C or both. And so I see potential under the current state of the Italian manufacturing.
We have a question from Daval Soni, who asks, how do you see the Indian market for made in Italy jewellery? Obviously over 1 billion people, rapidly growing middle class, presumably a great opportunity for Italian gold and silver jewellery exporters. But you've also got issues relating to tariffs, haven't you, which can make luxuries very expensive within India. But what are your general thoughts about the potential of the Indian market for made in Italy jewellery?
India is indeed a huge market, is a very interesting market. Well, it has the potential in terms of volume like China, and we have been always looking at India as a very important partner. We are talking with the Indian associations basically every week. When we are at Vicenza Oro, we have a strong presence of the Indian Association, GJEPC, both for helping their companies to develop their business in Europe and in the world, but also because we see the link with India a very important opportunity for the future, because once the duties and the taxes will be reduced as it is happening in all other countries, I think there will be very big opportunities for the Italian jewelry, and so we're looking at India with very much attention.
Great. So looking forward then to the next big event after the planned Oro Arezzo in June, which would be Vicenza Oro in September, organized by IEG. Could you just make some remarks about your hopes for that event, which would be an in-person event, wouldn't it? A physical trade show. But presumably you have to take into consideration the impact of the pandemic and the impact on travel. What are your thoughts and hopes for Vicenza Oro in September?
Well, we rely on what our government's saying, and the governments of all European countries are saying, and they are saying that by the end of September, 70-80% of all population of Europe, not only of Italy, will be vaccinated. So if it is the case, we can definitely run a physical event. So the Vicenza Oro with in-person relationships, with halls, with stands, and then with everything we used to do. So we really need to hope that this vaccination progress is going as planned, but we are very optimistic. September is not very far, We are already working for it, and I can make you sure there is a lot of interest in coming back on the halls, both by buyers and by exhibitors. They really are, I mean, annoyed by those Zoom calls, not yours, David, of course, but in general, people really want to touch again jewelry, and they really want to shake hands if possible, or at least being face to face, talking, relying on trust, having a drink or eating together and so on.
Yeah, now that's exactly what I'm hearing too. People really want to gather again, and hopefully this will now be able to happen relatively soon. Clearly, technology has made great strides in this period through the advance of events like Zoom calls and Instagram Lives and so on. So do you project that Vicenza Oro in September would most likely be a kind of a hybrid event, a sort of a mix of a physical in-person event where people can network and look at jewellery, but also offering digitized opportunities for business too?
That's a good question, and we have an answer since a year ago, because the answer is hybrid. Will stay hybrid in the future. We learned a lot from this period. We knew that it was coming, a big change, so we were prepared to embrace this change. And the events we envision in the next years will be all hybrid. So there will be the physical experience that has to be very much enhanced by the enjoying, to stay together, to drink something together, to experience something nice in a nice location, together with the all platforms. The one you saw, the Jewellery Golden Cloud, will still there. We will be using that also for the next Vicenza Oro with all the formats we are developing. So events will be hybrid with the two parts. I think the digital part will be much more useful before and after the show. And during the show, it will be a little bit more physical. But the two things will be one single way to make business, to interact with your community. This is the vision of IG. Okay,
great. So I'll just ask one more question, then we'll go to the Q&A. And I know there's a very good question from Jean there that I'd like to get to. But before we go to the Q&A, Marco, if I could just ask you, in view of the huge impact of the pandemic, what are your general thoughts on the directions in which international jewellery trade fairs will go going forward? Do you feel that the hybrid formula is here to stay, and how may that evolve? What's your sense about the future structure of the sector of international jewellery trade fairs? Will there be more collaborations, for example, between shows as well?
I think not only for IEG, the answer is a hybrid. So I guess all the major shows will be running hybrid formats. And this is the first point. Second point, I see the consolidation of the industry going on. So we will be having probably a little bit less show, but the show, they will stay, they will be bigger and more international. So this is a second point, but this is not because of the pandemic. This has been happening since the last years. You, David, you reporting everything on what is happening in our industry. So you saw it already, I guess. So there will be no space for very small show unless they are very vertical oriented, very niche, but they really need to provide a solid value proposition. Otherwise, there's no sense to have so many shows with no differentiation. So hybrid, consolidation, and the other point is that we see is that there will be probably a little bit less traveling for visitors and a little bit more traveling for exhibitors. So I explain myself a little bit better. Taking a flight for 12 or 10 or 12 hours to visit a show, it will be probably a little bit more difficult in next years for a buyer. And the buyer will probably prefer to stay within the 7-8 hours, unless he is very much keen to look at that particular offer for his business. So there will be growing different big international shows in big regions around the world. So there will be Asia, Europe, US, Middle East, with big show growing, and the intention of IEG is being present on all these platforms, because we need to provide the best services for our clients, and so we go on this way. And the last point is about alliances. Yes, there will be more and more alliances. I think, well, I can tell you that next week there will be some news about alliances between international organizers of jewelry events. So stay tuned, join the Jewelry Outlook, and check on the David blogs for the next news.
Okay, fantastic. So a question from Jean Giuredini. The Italian jewellery industry is seen as very stylish, fashionable and innovative. How do you deal with being copied? How do you protect your industry?
I mean, you cannot avoid to be copied. This is a long story. It happens to all industries, both if you are in fashion, if you are in jewelry, if you are in the trade events, whatever, you always have someone who follows and who try to copy. But, in this very open and sharing world, you don't need to be afraid of copy, but just focus on innovate continuously. So every day you should think about the next innovation, the next format, the next jewelry piece, and to run much faster of the ones they copy. So with the web, with this technology, and with this word, being afraid of being copied it doesn't take you much far. So you just really need to focus on research, innovate, and being a little bit farther than the other every day.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So we have a question from Rahsan Epstein, who is asking, with regard to We Are Jewellery, is this event, excuse me, I just lost my screen there. Is this event suitable for a designer who is seeking a manufacturer in Italy, or is it more aimed at retail jewelers who are looking to stock ready-made jewellery?
If we are talking about We Are, is definitely good for both. And I would say that all our shows, Vicenza Oro, Oro Arezzo, We Are, they usually are designed to be very variable, very wide in offer. So they can satisfy all the requirements and the needs of different kind of buyers. And that's why we work in very deeply with the communities, with the categories of products, with the categories of exhibitors, in a way that if you are a buyer and you want to search for something, you can find what you need, you don't waste time, and you are happy of what you find. So I would suggest to go and visit We Are for every buyer in our jewelry business.
Well, thanks very much. We've just wrapped up the Q&A. Before we go, Marco, would you like to just sum up for us We Are and why you feel this is a must-attend virtual event for the international trade.
Sure. ARE is a brand new format built and designed with the help of real buyers, real fashion buyers. And I think it mixes all the right elements to inspire jewelry buyer to see what can be of value for its own offer in his shops or in his online store, and it's gonna be inspiring because we are using the format of the Digital Fashion Week, plus all the B2B features that will allow to make business happen. So we'll mix everything, and I think the mix is very powerful. So go and see ARE, and I hope you enjoyed, and you can connect to your next suppliers for making bigger your business.
Great. Well, Marco, thank you very much indeed for your time today, and thank you everybody for listening in. We really appreciate it. In order to register for ARE, you go to oroarezzo.it and then register, hit the register button and fill in the form. Thanks so much for joining today, and have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. Goodbye. Thanks, Marco.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.